Hi guys, this is JR. A great sculptor once taught his students, when you look at an object, depending on the viewing angle, it can seem to be more beautiful, greater, more magnificent to you. Instead of wishing that you had something better, sometimes what you really need to do is take a close look at what you already have, but from a different direction. Even the most splendid piece of art could appear poorly to the eyes because of the way you see it. The sculptor and teacher added, "I'm not telling you this merely for the sake of art, but also for the sake of how you should see people. Don't ever feel let down or disappointed when others don't live up to your expectations. Just as you would with a piece of art, turn them around 360, try to look at them from a different viewing angle, and you just might find a different yet beautiful side of them." Several years ago at my job, I was doing a team performance evaluation, and the team I was reviewing wasn't delivering. I concluded and suggested the senior manager, which by the way was in charge of multiple teams and including the one in question. So I said, you might want to consider reforming the team. To be frank, you might want to start looking for more capable team members. And to this day, I still remember what the leader told me in response. She said, "I understand this team is underperforming for now, but I believe in time they will live up to the challenge. They don't need to be replaced. What they need is to be built up, and I will take care of that." To me, that was a huge, phenomenal lesson learned about leadership and how to perceive people. In each and every single case, there's always two sides to one thing. Where one side is really good, there's almost inevitably a downside that kind of drags it down and makes you wonder, Say for instance, a person who is decisive and holds a strong leadership style may seem, on the other hand, arbitrary or stubborn. An objective, tough-minded person may come across as emotionless or having no empathy. A humble and democratic style leader may give people the impression of being weak or being inefficient. So it's essential that we learn to embrace both the good and the bad within anything or any person. Instead of discarding what is good because of what is not, the wiser way would probably be to leverage the good in something while fixing its drawbacks. And no one ever said it's gonna be an easy task. It takes tons and tons of patience, time, and effort to change something that's not in its best condition. But it's way smarter than just casting out the entire thing because it has a couple of flaws. That, of course, is as long as those flaws aren't pivotal. The author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, love this book by the way, Stephen Covey brought up the term paradigm shift in his book. What a paradigm is, to describe this in the easiest, most oversimplified way possible, is the lenses, the filters that we see this world through. For an easy example, I am religious, so I see everything in this world from a God-existing point of view. And that shapes everything for me. From the way I interact with people, to the way I think about life, the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning, the last thing on my mind before I go to sleep at night. It shapes everything, and that is called a paradigm. And when I put on a different pair of glasses, I am able to see this world from a different perspective, and that is called paradigm shift. Completely oversimplified version. Stephen Covey mentioned one of his paradigm shift experiences where he met a father and his children on the subway on a Sunday morning. In the car, the children were yelling, tossing things around, being obnoxious, and Stephen felt deeply disturbed. And apparently all the other people were feeling the same. But the father, he just kept his eyes shut, doing nothing about it, totally oblivious to the scene his kids were causing. So that's when Stephen stepped in. He said, "Sir, your children are really disturbing a lot of people. I wonder if you couldn't control them a little more." And then the man, kind of like coming back to his senses, said in a very soft voice, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I think I should do something about it. We just came from the hospital where their mother died an hour ago. I don't know what to think. And I guess they don't know how to handle it either. Choke, 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 choke. That part always gets me." And quoting Stephen's words, he said, "Can you imagine what I felt at that moment? My paradigm shifted. Suddenly, I saw things differently. I felt differently. I behaved differently." He went on to elaborate that not all shifts happen so dramatically and instantaneously. Sometimes it takes years and years of time to make a paradigm shift. And other than that, paradigms are inseparable from character. What we see is highly interrelated to what we are. And so you see, who we are shapes the way we perceive the world. And the way we perceive the world shapes the way we treat it. And the way we treat it, to some extent, affects how we get treated back. And to wrap up today's video, let's go back to the story at the very beginning. After listening to their teacher, the great sculptor's lecture, one of the students asked, what if, for some people, I've turned them 360 degrees, I've tried to look at them from different angles, but still, all I see are his or her shortcomings? What am I supposed to do then? And the teacher said, if so, then polish your heart, polish your mind, and then look again. Not only should you look at others that way, but also that is how you should look at yourself. Peace.